now tuned in.
You are now tuned into
To the realest show on YouTube with your host, the Angryman.
What's good? What's going on, everybody? We back in the building yet again. If you're just coming in here, make sure you hit that like button. If you're watching on the phone, all you have to do is double tap the screen. Also, make sure you hit the Cash App and support the show. We need 10 people off the rip. Off the rip, if you got a little grip, hit the Cash App and support the show. All of that good stuff. So tonight we got to talk about your boy Eminem and how he is pretty much a disgrace to Gen X. Let's be real. He is a flat out disgrace. But before we get into any of that, I feel like giving an inspirational word. I feel like digging in my motivational speaker, Tony Robbins, Zig Ziglar, Jim Rohn bag. What y'all think? What y'all think? Y'all feel like hearing some inspirational words? Big Wave said, long live DJ Clark Kent. Definitely appreciate it. I gotta ask y'all, because y'all might not want to hear that right now. Y'all might not want to hear that right now. Matter of fact, press a 1. Press a 1 if you want a kind motivational word. Shout out to Lennix. Appreciate you. So, some of you may have heard me the other day talking about test driving some Corvettes just to see what I liked. And I said I wasn't going to cop nothing, but I did. You know, I thought about it. And then ultimately, what I said to myself is, you only live once. You feel me? That was my thought process. In addition to the fact that all I do is work. All I do is grind. I don't do anything else. I barely do anything else. Y'all know, if I go on vacation, I live stream from the vacation. Any car that I get, I don't really put a lot of miles on it because most of the time I'm right here. Most of the time I'm right here in front of the camera, whether I'm sitting on my patio, whether I'm sitting in the car, whether I'm sitting right here, I'm always in front of this camera and I'm always spitting, always talking, right? It's funny because that's the one thing I actually have in common with rappers. Shout out to Student of Paradise. The one thing I have in common with rappers is I actually have been able to make a living from talking shit. Which, to be truthfully honest, I never thought I would be able to do. But, you know, I said to myself, you know, you only live once and you deserve it. You feel me? There's a lot of people out there, you don't think that you deserve certain things. You feel me? And that mentality, that attitude can be very limiting. And it can stop you from being able to achieve your goals and get the things that you want out of life. Now, for me, I remember some years back, even before I got the Camaro, when I still had the Impala, right? I remember I was sitting in the car and I was having a conversation. I was live streaming. I was talking about money. I was talking about changing your mentality in order to be able to elevate and achieve new things, right? And there was a guy um that came to the chat room, and he had some advice for me, right? He has some advice for me. Now, I haven't seen him in the chat room lately. He's probably busy, probably doing his thing. He's a multimillionaire. Um and me and him have chopped it up behind the scenes. I met him in person. Um he's actually the one that told me I should have been written a book, right? And I had that whole conversation with him where he was like, "Yo, Angry Man, why you haven't written a book yet?" And I'm like, "Man, I don't even know how to get into that." He's like, "Well, ain't you cool with Coach Greg Adams? Like, he know how. Like, holler at him," which I did. I hollered at him, and Coach put me on to the best route to get it done, and we got it done. You feel me? But one of the things that the brother said to me that really caught my attention. He said, if you want to be successful in life, if you want to be able to constantly elevate financially, if you want to be able to uh achieve the goals that you set out to achieve and accomplish the things that you want to accomplish, he said all you have to do is dedicate your life to helping other people. That's all you got to do. He said all you have to do is dedicate your life to helping other people. It's something about helping people that opens up opportunities. You feel me? That you never would have thought existed. Like with him, he said that, a while back he was going through a divorce. He lost a lot in the divorce. At one point, he said he was sleeping in his car. And he said it was my shows that was getting him through it. Many dudes have told me that the streams that I do, it helps a lot of people because you can go through life thinking that you're crazy as far as the things you think, like, the stuff that you go through. You can think that you're the only person going through it. And you can have people in your life that will literally gaslight you and tell you that you're not going through anything and that it's just all in your mind. And when that happens, you kind of get to this, you kind of start to have these feelings of loneliness. You start to feel like you're the only one going through it, and nobody understands or whatever. And literally all you need in that moment is to know that somebody else has either experienced what you've experienced or they're currently going through what you're going through, that gives you confirmation that you're not crazy. And sometimes that's all you need in order to keep fighting. That's all you need in order to push forward. Is to know that you're not the only one, to know that you're not crazy. So if there is anybody out here right now that's going through the struggle, that's having a hard time making ends meet, that is in a dead end financial situation, and they just feel like it's never going to change, right? I'm here to tell you right now that I've felt that way. There have been times where everything, everything was just on my shoulders, like everything was just crushing me. And it was like nobody understood. You know what I'm saying? Because the crazy thing is when you're in a situation like that, there are very few helping hands. People are not willing to help. You know, they look at you like, he'll be all right. He'll make it through it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, and sometimes all you need is for somebody to give you a kind word. But for some odd reason, when you're in that type of situation, nobody has a kind word. Nobody has a helping hand. And nobody has any answers. Nobody has any good advice to give, you know? And you kind of just have to go through it. And when I tell you I went through it, I went through it. I went through it. I went through a bunch of different changes. Some of which y'all probably witnessed if you've been around long enough. You know, I had child support over me. I had a situation where every time I went to get my kids, it was always some drama. It was always some foolishness. It just seemed like life. It just seemed like there was nothing good planned for me. You feel what I'm saying? But regardless, I just kept pushing through. I just created a plan and just stuck with it and ignored the naysayers, ignored the people that didn't believe in me. And I just believed in myself. And I'm telling y'all right now, even though people try to pawn it off as being delusional or fictitious or whatever, it really is based on your thought process. If all you think is this is never going to work, that's never going to work, you know, if you have the woe is me attitude, you'll always be stuck in that situation. You'll be stuck in that loop. You feel me? Kind of like right now. Like right now, we're looking at this election and we're looking at things because right now it's really difficult for a lot of people. You feel me? Even though I may be in a better position and able to do certain things, I'm not blind to the fact that there are still people going through it. Like, I realize that. And the reason I can understand it is because where I'm at now is new to me. Where I'm at now is new to me. I've probably been, where I'm at now is only been about 6 years. You feel me? The rest of my life was a struggle. The rest of my life was a struggle. So I know that struggle and I know what it feels like. You feel what I'm saying? But the one thing I can tell you is this. Everybody is not going to win. Everybody's not going to be successful. But you have to decide whether you're going to be everybody or whether you're going to be you. You have to decide. You can't sit back and look at it and say, well, everybody can't be this or everybody can't be. You don't got to worry about everybody. You just got to worry about you. You got to worry about doing the things that will separate you from the herd. Because the one thing that I realized back in the day, I figured out the reason why some people succeed and others don't. The reason that some people succeed is because, or excuse me, the reason why only a percentage of people succeed outside of the whole is because there's only a few people in the world that will really sit down and say, okay, you know what? I want to accomplish this, and I want to accomplish this, and I want to do this. What do I need to do in order to put myself in that position? Now, that's the easy part. The easy part is sitting down and coming up with a plan. And it's crazy I'm saying that's the easy part because most people don't even do that. Most people just float through life and they want life on easy mode. You know how you play the video game, you put it on easy mode and you just breeze through it. Only problem is that don't make you better, right? So most people, they just float through life and they just take life as it comes. They're not making things happen. They're letting life happen to them. You feel me? So most people are not even going to sit down and make plans. Like, for instance, I was on Izzy Band's show earlier today, and he was reviewing that brother. I'm not going to say his name, but he was reviewing that brother, the one that married the chick that he barely knows. And now they over there going through it, going through all of the motions, going through it. And, and even though I don't got no hatred for the dude, I kind of feel bad for him. But I know the reason why he's going through what he's going through. Because you have to make a choice at some point. At some point, you have to sit down and you have to make a choice. You have to make a decision. You have to say to yourself, you know what? I don't care what everybody else got going on. I'm going to sit down. I'm going to make a plan to accomplish the things I want to accomplish and to get the things that I want to get in life. Now, like I said, that's the easy part. The hard part is executing that plan. That's the hard part. Some people can do their plan for a few months. Some people can do it for a year. But can you dedicate yourself to your plan for years? That's really what separates the successful from the non-successful. The people that quit halfway through. You feel me? And sometimes they're not even halfway through. Sometimes they're right on the cusp. They're right there at it. But they quit early. They quit early and then they get right back into this loop, right? There was a brother that I worked for, me and Izzy Bands worked for, by the name of Mitch, right? And I never forget one of the things that Mitch said. Matter of fact, I remember a lot of things he said because he dropped a lot of gems. He gave a lot of jewels, right? And by the way, this is the first black man I knew that was at that level of success. Like, I'm talking immaculate house, I'm talking successful business, all of that good stuff, right? He said to me, trying to become successful is like one of those old school pumps. You feel me? It's the pump that has the handle on it. So you got this well, right? And on top of the well, there's a pump that has like one of those handles that you do like this, right? He said, when you first start pumping the handle, it's hard to get the water to come up because what you're doing is you're building pressure. You feel me? The water is down at the bottom and it's deep. It's deep down there. Consider the water money, right? or success or whatever it is you're trying to achieve, when you're pumping that handle, it's going to feel like that water's never going to come up. And you can pump and pump and pump until your arms get tired, and it'll seem like it's never going to happen, right? Now, the messed up part is some people will pump and pump and pump, and that water will get right there almost to the top, but they'll give up. And guess what? When they stop pumping, that water falls all the way back down. And the crazy thing about it is, as tiring as it was to get that water 3/4 of the way up, it's going to be even harder if you let it drop and then start again. It's going to be twice as hard because now your arm is tired. Now you know, your morale is down. You feel like it's never going to happen for you. But here's the thing. If you just keep pumping that well, I'm talking about if you just keep pumping it, even when you're tired, even when you're sleepy, when you feel like you just ain't got it in you to go forward, you just keep pumping that well. You feel me? It's like Nipsey said. Nipsey said, I ain't have a mic. I was in the Chevy living savage life. Niggas talking about I had it wrong. Now them niggas know I had it right. They don't know about them sleepless nights. Those looking for a reason nights. You feel me? Those looking for a reason to keep going. You feel me? I was so hell-bent on my success, I couldn't even sleep at night. You know, like Prodigy said, I couldn't even sleep at night until I made shit right. You feel me? So you got to keep pumping that well, keep pumping that well. Now, here's the beautiful thing about that well. Once the water starts coming out, once you've built up all that pressure, it's like the water never stops. It's like it never stops. You feel me? And the most beautiful thing about it is if you ever find yourself in a situation where the water does stop, it's easier to get the water to come back up again because you've seen it happen. It was a reality. Because I don't know if you noticed this or not, but most people that become successful, even if they fail and lose their success, they always figure out a way to get it back. Because once something becomes a reality for you as a human being, you can do it again. You feel me? All you got to do is get it right one time. That's all you got to do. One time. That's all you got to do is get it right one time. You feel me? Once you get it right, you'll always be able to do it again. You'll always be able to do it again. And I'm here to tell you, when you come from poverty, and you come from the struggle, and you come from the hood, we're taught a lot of self-defeating attitudes, right? Shout out to Mogul Mays. He said, definitely agree. In all honesty, when I was a teen, nobody was inspiring me to do anything. I had to dig deep spiritually, but you really do have to keep going. Facts. Bruh, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I have passed all of the men in my family. I've surpassed all of them. And it's not that the men in my family were not hard workers. They were. They were very hard workers, right? Very hard workers, very intelligent. But there's one thing that they had that I noticed. They always had a defeatist attitude. That's not going to happen. This ain't going to happen. You're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be able to do that. Luckily for me, I'm a hard-headed Gen Xer. In fact, I'm so hard-headed that when you tell me I can't do something, I'm literally going to dedicate myself to doing that thing that you said I can't do. But that's where the majority of us come from. We come from, if you're a Gen Xer, we come from a generation where the boomers always gave us limitations. You know, you're not going to be able to do this. You're not going to be, especially if you're black. If you're black, they used to say crazy things to you like, white people ain't going to let you do that. Or, you know, they not going to give you this or they not going to give you that. You know what I'm saying? I even remember black people back in the day telling me and a lot of younger dudes, they not going to let you have that car. They not going to let you have that house. They not going to let you make this kind of money or that kind of money. And I'm going to tell you right now, some of the things that I've been able to do, the men in my family or some of the older folks in my family, they wouldn't believe it if they hadn't seen me do it. They wouldn't believe it. They would not believe it. If I would have told them when I was younger that I was going to do some of the things that I do now, they'd be like, yeah, right. That ain't going to happen. That ain't going to happen. And look, I'm not no spectacular dude. You feel me? I don't have no ridiculous amount of money. I'm not a dude that has $400 million or yachts and 15-room mansion and all of that. I don't have none of that shit, right? But I tell you this, I have way more than I was projected to have. Like, I literally know people that were born into poverty and they died broke. They died struggling. Their struggle was the same from the moment they were born until the day they freaking died. In fact, there's a dude that I know, right? Every time I see this dude, it breaks my heart. He was born into this family and his parents was on drugs or whatever, right? And he was disabled because he was a little, he was a little off. He was a little slow, right? Because he was in that household with those two parents that were on drugs, soon as he got old enough, he got on drugs himself, right? And I used to see this dude walk up and down the street, up and down the street. You know what I'm saying? Up and down the street. He'll never have a driver's license. He'll never get a car. He'll never own a house of his own. He'll never do any of the things that I've been able to do. As simple as he'll never get on a plane and go somewhere to a place he's never been and enjoy that. He'll never have a brand new car. He'll never have a nice house. He'll never have nice clothes. But only because the circumstances that he grew up in are so crushing. We're talking about a person that gets a disability check. And the moment he gets that disability check, he goes and spends it on drugs. And every time I see him, I just think about how easily a life can be wasted. You feel me? And he's not the only one. I know plenty of people like that. I know plenty of people like that. They'll never leave the few blocks that they call home. They'll never leave it. They will live, they will be born there, they will live there, and they will die there. And in my personal opinion, that, my friends, is the definition of hell on earth. And I remember when I was younger, I used to say to myself, I'm not going to be one of those people. I don't care what I have to do. I don't care how hard I have to grind. I don't care. I don't care. I will not allow myself to be in that purgatory. You feel what I'm saying? That purgatory, that makes me sick to my stomach when I think about it. Jerome said, AM, did this encourage your perseverance? Yes. Yes. Because I knew when I was younger, I knew that there was a better life. I knew that there were things that people get to experience on a norm that they take for granted. I knew that there was a better life. I knew there was. And the way I thought is this: if other people can live that better life, why can't I? Because when we're coming up, the people around us, they act as if our fate is set in stone. They act as if nothing can change it. But you got to look at it the way a person a person who's good at reverse engineering, right? I was always good at reverse engineering. I could take something apart, and because I took it apart, I know how to put it back together, right? So mentally, I started to think about the condition of poverty and the condition that everybody's in. And I said, okay, there had to be a set of actions, a mentality, a way of living that created this. See, a lot of people foolishly think that people are in poverty, especially black people, because of white people. And it's not true. It's not true. You're not in poverty today because of slavery. You're not in poverty today because of Jim Crow. And the reason we know this is because there were black people after slavery, after Reconstruction, after Jim Crow, that did extremely well. So you're not in poverty because of that. I really don't care what the excuse is. It's not white people. It's not where you grew up at. It's none of that. You could have been born in a small town in the middle of nowhere in a state that nobody cares about, where there's nothing. I'm talking dirt roads. I'm talking about places that are so regressive that they're still the same as they was 50 years ago, 100 years ago, with the exception of a few Dollar Generals popping up. I don't care how bad it is. Doesn't matter. Because it shouldn't define you. It shouldn't define you. But people get in their comfort zones and they get afraid to take a chance or to try something. Let me tell you something. If I was in the middle of nowhere with no job, no way of doing anything, the very first thing I would do is I would scrape together whatever money I could scrape together. And I would get a bus ticket. And I would get the hell out of that small area and go somewhere where I know something is happening. Go somewhere where I know there's some opportunity. And let, matter of fact, this is what I used to call it back in the day. Because when I was younger, regardless of all the places that I lived or whatever, right, I would always end up back at my grandmother's house in VA. And where my grandmother's house is at in VA, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. You feel what I'm saying? Absolutely nothing. Right? Now, the reason why my grandmother ended up there at that house is because back in the day, my grandmother got tired of the violence and the problems of Brooklyn, New York, right? So any of my family members that lived in any cities or whatever, they knew they always had a home in VA, right? Because of how much land my great grandfather had, right? So especially when they get older, when they retire, they'll go there and live there, right? Now for me, that didn't really help me out because, if I didn't have anywhere to go, the only place that I really had to go was my grandmother's house. You know what I'm saying? It was her house. So I would often find myself there with no money, struggling, right? But every single time that I was able to get me a little car, and there's been a few cars that I got that was raggedy. You feel me? That was just pieced together, right? That was the first thing. I'm like, if I could just get me a vehicle so that I can get to and from, right? So I get me a vehicle and then I would figure out a way to scrape up some money, find me a little job doing something or whatever so I could scrape me some money together. And the moment I got enough money, gone. I'd go somewhere. I didn't care where. I would just go somewhere. You feel me? One time I was in Durham. One time I was here in Raleigh. One time I was in Aberdeen, Maryland. One time I was in the western part of North Carolina. One time I was in the northern part of VA. Um, One time I was in Atlanta. It didn't matter to me. I would go wherever to get somewhere where there's some opportunity. Now this is what I used to call this, because a lot of the people that know me, they'd be like, "Man, you always on the move," and I'd be like, "Yeah, I got to go. I got to go somewhere." And they'd be like, "Word? So you got you a crib?" Like, nope. You got your job there? Nope. You know how many times I went somewhere and I didn't have a job or a place? I call that a wing and a prayer. That's what I call that. I be like, yo, I'm out. They be like, yo, where you going? I be like, yo, I got to get up out of here, but I'm going on a wing and a prayer. You feel me? I'm going on a wing and a prayer. You feel me? And I would always go wherever and I would make it happen. I would make it happen. And if I failed, and I failed a lot. I failed a lot. You feel me? Like I've lost jobs. I've gotten evicted. I had cars break down on me. Um like I'll never forget, I had this old raggedy Chrysler, and I had came here to North Carolina and I had done what I needed to do to get the money together to get me a place. And I got this place and I got this raggedy car, right? And I never forget, I'm coming down Capitol Boulevard and the freaking timing belt broke on that car. Timing belt broke on it. And I pulled over to this shop on the side of the road that was closed. And I'm trying to fix the damn timing belt. And some dude actually stopped and tried to help me out with it, and I was able to somewhat get it running again. And it's crazy because I my bad, y'all. Give me 1 second. So shout out to Kira. He said Capitol Boulevard word. So it's crazy because today I was coming down Capitol Boulevard and I'm driving down Capitol Boulevard and I'm in this brand new freaking car. I mean, I'm in this brand new car. And I'm talking new. I'm talking nobody. I'll put it to you like this. That car that I just got, nobody has even test drove it. Nobody drove that car. I'm the only person. I'm the only person that drove that car. When I went to test drive it, it had like 5 miles on it. And I'm driving down Capitol Boulevard. And I passed by that shop. And I just, for a brief moment, had like a memory. You know how sometimes you see something that reminds you of a time and you all of a sudden get the feeling of that time. I'm passing by this shop and I look over there and I'm remembering how I felt at that shop at night. The desperation I felt trying to get this freaking car running. Because if I didn't get it running, I wouldn't have been able to make money and I would have lost my place. You feel what I'm saying? And I'm passing by and I'm like, wow. It bugs me out. You feel me? It bugs me out. Now, I say all of that to say this. Whether you male, female, black, white, young, old, it doesn't really matter. As much as I've messed up in my life, as difficult as I've had it, and as many things as I've tried to do in order to accomplish my goals, I'm here to tell any of you that's in the struggle, if I can do it, you can fucking do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And that's just real. And I'm gonna tell you something else too. I ain't even in front. Sometimes I get up and I still don't be thinking it's real. I don't be thinking it's real. I don't. I don't. I'll get up tomorrow and I'll go somewhere. I'll get in that freaking new car and I'll go somewhere to do something and I'll still be in a state of disbelief. Because when I tell you I came from the bottom, like a lot of times I say that, but I don't think people realize. I don't think people realize. Like there's only two people in this world. Well, excuse me. There's only a couple of people in this world that have seen me struggle and saw everything I went through. My wife has seen me go through what I went through. My man Izzy Bands has seen me go through it. And my grandmother has seen me go through it. Now, while it's wonderful for me to see my wife see me succeed and to see my homie see me succeed, it breaks my heart that my grandmother didn't see it. It it breaks my heart. And I'm gonna tell you the truth. Outside of a handful of people, I really don't care. Like I don't care. Like I just got this car. Like if I would have, even when I got the Camaro, like if I was still in the mind frame that I was in back in the day, the first thing I would have did is I would have went to VA and went, all around to show off and all of that. And then, I don't care. I don't even care because it's like one of those things where the accomplishment is enough. You feel me? I don't even need the acknowledgement. You feel what I'm saying? Like the accomplishment is enough. You feel me? Like if I was still younger and still had that mind frame, I would want to go show off and stunt and and show people and all of those different things. Because, to be truthfully honest, there wasn't very many people that believed in me. And look, that's not unique. I'm smart enough to know that. It's not unique. There's a lot of you out here right now that there are people around you that don't believe in you. They don't believe in you. They don't believe you're going to make anything of your life. They don't believe you're going to accomplish anything. But it's not for them to. You feel me? It's not for them. And you don't need it. You don't need the validation from them. You don't need the encouraging word from them. You don't need any of that. I'm telling you, you don't need it. And it's better to have that mentality. It's better to have that mentality because once you do accomplish your goals, and I have faith that you will, but once you do accomplish your goals, there's never going to be the I told you so moment. It doesn't come. It doesn't come. And the reason why is because all of the people that didn't believe in you or told you you wasn't going to be shit or told you that you wasn't going to accomplish anything, when you do accomplish your level of success, whatever it is that you and them didn't believe you would achieve, those people are going to avoid you like the plague. If you go to a family get together or a class reunion or something, the people that didn't believe in you, they are going to go out of their way not to talk to you. Because there's never a moment where the person is going to be like, wow, I really didn't think you would make anything out of your life, but you did. That's awesome. That's not the way that works. That's not the way that works. The people that are in your cheering section are always going to be the people that were in your cheering section. In other words, the people that's going to congratulate you when you're successful are the people that had love for you and said kind things and were nice to you when you were fucked up. That's just the truth. Whoever was around you when you was messed up in the game and they treated you normal, even though you was messed up, they never had nothing foul to say about you. They never had no goofiness to say. They didn't treat you no kind of messed up way. Those are the only people that's going to be happy for you. Those are the only people that's going to congratulate you. Your life does not have, your life story does not have the ability to convert haters. Only a hater can decide to stop being a hater. But who you are, it's never going to make people stop being who they are unless they decide. You feel me? So this idea that, because when you're coming up, if you were like me, you want the people that know you to be proud of you. You want the people that know you to look at you in a positive light. But the painful reality is this. If they didn't look at you in a positive light when you didn't have anything, they're definitely not going to look at you in a positive light when you get something. And the problem is because, there's people that do this, right? But there's people that do this. If you ever see a graph, you see a graph that goes up and down, up and down. See, you might be one of those people that go up and down. Sooner or later, you finally do this. And when you start to do this, the people that done this their whole life, they're not going to like you. See, before, when they were just doing this, when they were just cruising along at the same level, and you was going up and down, up and down. See, when you was down, it was confirmation for them that they're doing the right thing. When you're up, they would say, it ain't going to be long before you be down again. So when you got back down, it was more confirmation that they was doing the right thing. But once you start doing this, now this ain't shit. And you are a reminder to them that it ain't shit. So the last thing they want is for you to be around them to remind them of their mediocrity. Because people that do this are the people that's playing it safe. They have dreams. They have things they want to accomplish. But they know that those dreams and those things that they want take risk. A lot of people ain't gonna take risks. They just gonna cruise along. You feel me? They just gonna cruise along. But I will tell you this. If you think the price of success is too high, wait till you get the bill for regret. And that's the last thing that I want is regrets. That's the last thing I want is regrets. I want everybody to know that I tried, and I tried my best. I tried my damnedest to break as many generational curses as I possibly could. And in the process of trying my best, just like old Blue Eyes, I did it my way. Did it my way. Didn't do it nobody else's way but my way. You feel me? And that's where the pride comes. And you can say you did it your way. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a positive word. You feel me? Before we get into this main topic. Shout out to, let's see who we got. Shout out to Mario. He said, speaking of success, Yanks in the World Series. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Shout out to Muhammad. Appreciate you. Shout out to Carnell. He said, thanks for the motivation, my G. No doubt. Let's see. Shout out to Benjamin. He said, can I still get a super wrench for 100? Hell yeah. Yes, sir. If you drop 100 right now, I'm going to give you the super wrench. Shout out to Elvis. He said, appreciate the message, big bro. No doubt. Oh, and that goes back to the whole thing about helping people, right? The brother told me that as long as you help people, you'll have prosperity. As long as you help people, you'll have prosperity. Yeah, Benjamin, if you drop 100 on the Cash App, I'll get you a super wrench, bro. Shout out to Jimmy Staggs. He said, AM, what up, my dude? Stopping through, showing some love. Thank you for being exactly who you are. I appreciate that, bro. Shout out to Sazi. Shout out to Sazi. Appreciate you. Oh, snap. Crocodile Tears with the 100 spot.
matchup.
Yes, sir. Hey, Crocodile Tears, say something in the chat so I can get your wrench, bro. Let's see. Trying to see if I see your name. Oh, there you go, right there. I got you. I got you. Shout out to Crocodile Tears getting the big wrench. He will be purge free. You feel me? Shout out to Extra Grands. He said, AM, that's some hard ass shit right there. The bill for regret. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me tell you something. The worst thing a man can experience in older age is regrets. That is the worst thing you can experience. That is the worst thing you can experience, bro. Shout out to RE. He said, thanks for sharing, my G. No doubt. So, there's always going to be some cynical people. So the cynical people are going to say stuff like, oh, well, how are you helping people, Angry Man? I didn't even start this channel to make money. That's what's so crazy about it. I didn't even start this channel to make money. I started this channel because I felt like I was going crazy. I felt like I was the only one that was experiencing what I was experiencing. So I made videos, I posted videos, and I started to realize there were a lot more people that felt the way I felt. And I kept making the videos. And every time I make the videos, dudes would relate to me. They'd say, yo, Angry Man. Yo, man, I appreciate your videos, man. I appreciate what you said. And I realized it was helping people. And, it's even gotten to the point where even women have hit me up. You feel me? There have been single mothers. As much as y'all love to come over here, people love to come over here and say, oh, Angry Man, all you do is talk about black women and all you do is talk about single mothers. There have been single mothers that have hit me up and said they appreciate me talking about what I talk about because it gives them insight and understanding into their sons and what their sons will experience. There are women that have bought my book in order to give it to their sons. You feel me? But I would do this show and I would talk about topics, and a lot of people could relate to those topics. And a lot of people have told me that the topics that I've talked about have helped them because talking helps. That's why I laugh whenever people get up here and say, all y'all doing on the internet is talking. Talking helps. Talking is therapeutic. You feel me? It's like on it's like on Jerry Maguire when Cuba Gooding Jr. is in the tub and he's on the phone and Jerry gives the phone to the little boy. And the little boy's like, you talk too much. And Cuba Gooding Jr. said, no, you don't understand. Talking is just a primitive form of communication. Which is a deeply profound statement because sometimes the way to solve problems is to talk through them. Sometimes that's the best way to solve problems is to talk through them. You feel me? So once I saw that people were benefiting from my channel, and which led to me writing the book. But once I saw that, I said, okay, this will be my purpose. And let me tell you something right now to all of the men out here and the women, because it applies to both. There is no level of peace that you will ever experience that matches the level of peace you feel when you figure out what your purpose is. When you figure out what your purpose is, there's no level of peace that matches that level of peace. Because it is your purpose. Once you realize what it is, that will drive you. On the days when you're tired, on the days when you don't feel like doing X, Y, Z, on the days when it gets hard, on the days when it seems like everything is against you, it's your purpose that keeps you going. Because look, with my YouTube channel, when people hate on me, it's my purpose that keeps me going. When I have shows where I don't really make that much as far as support, it's the purpose that keeps me going. When I get up on a day and I really don't feel like doing a show, it's the purpose that keeps me going. Because the purpose is, I know that there's probably somebody watching that's going to benefit from something I say that day. And them benefiting from that is me helping someone, which goes back to what the brother said about as long as you're helping people, you'll always be all right. And it's true. It's true. It's true. And if we're being totally honest, oh my God, I really wish that when I was younger, there was a YouTube and there was guys like myself, Izzy Bands, Anton Daniels, Coach Greg Adams, Dr. Tiasan Johnson, the kosher clinician. I really, Black Man Unfiltered. I really wish there had been channels like this when I was younger, because I would have avoided a lot of mistakes. I would have avoided a lot of drama, and I would have had a much easier time formulating a roadmap to what I needed to do as a man. And that's just real. Yeah, lead attorney, all of these dudes that provide value. Because, you got people that come here, they love to focus on the negative. All people do is get up here and argue with each other and bicker with each other and this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay. Nobody told you had to listen to gangster rap. You could have listened to the Backpackers. You could have listened to Raucus. You could have listened to J. Rue the Damager, Mos Def, Talib Kweli. You didn't have to listen to NWA. You chose to. You didn't have to listen to the R. Kellys and the all of the music that was raunchy and over sexualized. You didn't have to listen to that. You could have listened to neo soul. Just because there are people here that engage in foolishness and keep a bunch of drama going and are mostly negative, you don't have to focus on that. Because there are plenty of people here that provide valuable content. You can watch them and benefit from watching them. You feel me? You don't have to you don't have to focus on the negative people that keep foolishness going on a regular basis. Shout out to Regina. Regina said, from one business owner to another. No doubt. Keep it going. Keep it going. Shout out to all my business owners out there. You feel me? Shout out to all of the entrepreneurs, all of the blue collar workers, all of the truck drivers. We got a lot of truck drivers that watch us. Shout out to all of y'all. Keep doing your thing. You feel me? Hopefully, we'll get a new president, and that president will be Donald Trump, and we can have a influx of money and opportunity and prosperity. You feel what I'm saying? But let's get into this topic. If you're just coming in here, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the Cash App and support the show. We got to talk about Eminem. Oh, my Lord. What is wrong with Eminem? What is wrong with Eminem? So, I don't know if y'all have noticed. Matter of fact, of course you've noticed. Like, it's hard not to notice. Do y'all see this full court press happening right now? With all of these celebrities endorsing Kamala Harris. Do y'all see this? Do y'all see this? We talking about Beyonce, Tyler Perry, Usher, Eminem, all of these people. Y'all see this, right? And we're not talking about your run-of-the-mill celebrities. We're talking about marquee celebrities. We're talking about marquee celebrities, and it's really interesting because I'm not even gonna lie. It's showing me who I need to stop rocking with. You feel me? Now, don't get me wrong. I will always listen to Eminem's old stuff, but moving forward, y'all can do what you want. Moving forward, I'm done. I'm done. Any celebrity I see right now endorsing Kamala Harris, you through. What my man say? You through. I'm done. I'm done. And look, I can put two and two together pretty well. I can connect the dots pretty well. And I'll just say this. Would they be able to get as many celebrities endorsing them if Diddy hadn't got locked up? Because there seems to be a parallel. I'm just saying. A lot of the people that's endorsing Kamala just also happen to be former friends of Diddy. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because look, here's the thing. Why is it every celebrity now that gets up there to endorse her, why is it giving the type of energy like they're being forced to do it? Has anybody else noticed that? Has anybody else noticed when they get up there on that podium to say what they say, it seems like they don't want to be there? You're looking like, bruh, are you sure you want to be here? What's going on? Where's the enthusiasm? Where's the enthusiasm, right? Let's see. Let's pull up. Let me get my TikTok up here. Let's pull up Usher. Now, if you remember, Usher was on The View, and he said he don't really get into politics like that, right? He said he don't really get into politics like that. But
let me make certain that I'm talking to all my AT aliens out here. We ready? We... What? Oh! Yes! Yes! Oh, y'all want to keep going? You know, normally I'm up here to entertain, but today was something far, far more significant for Atlanta and all of Georgia. You know, it's really great to be home. I'm here, home for my past, present, future tour, but took a quick break from that to come here, share a few words with you about the significance of this moment. I feel that this is a momentous opportunity for each and every one of us. You know, it's just 17 days away from a very important...
What you notice when they're talking is they're always looking down. Are you reading something, sir? Are you reading something?
Very important election, as we all know.
See, look.
And we have the opportunity to choose a new generation of leadership for our country.
Why you don't want to look the people in the eye while you're talking? Why you don't want to look the people in the eye while you're talking? Like, what's really good? Like, am I the only one that notices this? Y'all give me 1 second. So if you notice, while Usher's up there talking, he up there looking like he looking like he don't want to be there. Like, for real. Look at him.
We all know what it means to be supportive, but ladies and gentlemen, we are here to support the next president of the United States. Kamala Harris, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, y'all saw him on The View, right? Y'all saw what he said on The View, right? Y'all saw him on The View talking about he don't really get into politics like that and all of that, right? So you went from not really being into politics like that to full-blown endorsing a particular candidate, right? See if I can find it. Right here.
Emergency that we're in. I think that the Who's artists should come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump, because he is an existential threat to the country. What do you say to that?
You know what? I don't get too deep into politics. I didn't get a chance to watch the debate last night. I obviously have been watching like everybody else. I think voting is an individual choice. And I think that you're right. You have to look at the reality of the country that we are and the country that we want to be, and find the candidate that you feel both are who fits the category of where we want to be. And that's it. And that's what you vote based off of. Who you highlight and how you choose to highlight it on whatever platform you have is your prerogative.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Emergency.
You see what the person put as the caption. Usher shuts down Joy Behar as she begs him to endorse Kamala. So the question is, why didn't he endorse Kamala right then and there? Because if you go back and you look at the endorsement when he's up there on the podium, you know, it's so important this moment in history that we must endorse Kamala Harris, all this old bullshit. Why you didn't do that on The View, bruh? Could this have anything to do with your homeboy being in jail? Because I'm going to tell you what happened. This is what happened. Right after Diddy got locked up, Usher erased the last 6 years of tweets from his Twitter feed. And then jumped out there later and said, oh, I got hacked. You go up on The View and you say, well, you know, I try not to get into politics too much because, you know, I didn't really see the debate, but I think, who you choose is a personal choice and da-da-da-da. He tap danced all around that. You know what would be funny? You know what would be hilarious? What would be hilarious is if these individuals go up there, endorse Kamala Harris, and still go vote for Trump. That would be hilarious. If they up there endorsing Kamala Harris, and then they get to the voting booth and be like, put this vote in for Donald Trump. Because look, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so you look at everybody that's endorsing her, right? You look at Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry is basically a billionaire, right? You look at Usher, multi-millions. Beyonce, billionaire. Barack, not billionaire, but multi-millions. Everybody, every celebrity that is endorsing her is rich. In fact, every celebrity that is endorsing her is on the cusp of wealthy, if not wealthy. What is one of her main talking points? The rich have to pay their fair share. Why would people who have hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars, endorse someone that is openly saying that they're going to tax them more? Does that even make sense logically? It doesn't make sense. And here's the thing. Look, I hope y'all notice something. Every single celebrity that is endorsing her has gotten canceled recently, not by the mainstream, but by us at the regular level. Y'all realize that, right? Every single celebrity that has endorsed her recently, we don't really rock with like that. Y'all noticed that, right? But this is the one that takes the cake. Oh, yes. This is the one that takes the cake. I never thought I would have seen this shit. I never thought in a million years I would have seen this, right? Shout out to Everett Investment Group. Said, a little gas money for the C8. Congrats, sir. Salute. Appreciate you, fam. Shout out to Mark G. He said, let me endorse her to cover my ass from Diddy. Shout out to Bryant. He said, your story and advice on no regrets are inspiring. Appreciate you, bro.
Here we go again. $100 boss up. Going down. Stack up and match up.
I never would have thought in a million years that I would see this. I never would have thought in a million years I would see Eminem do something like this. Shout out to Andre. He said, Ted DiBiase said it best. Everyone has a price. Shaking my effing head. Facts. So, let's hear what Eminem had to say.
Detroit. What up, though? So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know,
yeah, he wrote it down. He wrote down a few things he needed to say.
For a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please. I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known.
Oh, really? Ain't that what happened in 2020? Didn't all of the people that had issues with 2020 get silenced? Wasn't there retribution? I mean, Jesus Christ, look at what they're doing to Giuliani. Y'all see what they're doing to Giuliani? Do y'all see what they're doing? Because they claim he defamed some of the people down there in Georgia. Isn't that him voicing his opinion, speaking his truth? Look at what they're doing to him.
I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld.
Look. Notice he has the hat pulled down on his damn eyes so you can't see his eyes. Shout out to Greaseman, Texas, said Kamala gets wet just hearing the word keep my state, Texas, red, no doubt. Notice how he has his hat pulled down so you can't see his eyes.
And here to tell you much more about that, President Barack Obama.
You know, I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous. But I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. I mean, I notice my palms are sweating. knees weak, arms are heavy. Vomit on my sweater already. Mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
By the way, I got a little tidbit for y'all. Have you ever noticed that Barack Obama reminds you of somebody? Like he's familiar. Press 1 if you've ever noticed. Press 1 if you've ever noticed that Barack Obama reminds you of somebody. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to show you who he reminds you of. And there's a reason. How many of you remember this actor right here? He's played in a lot of different things. He's played in the 5 Heartbeats. He's played in the Blacklist. He's played in Billions. He's played in a lot of shows, right?
8, 9, 10 years old.
You know, I wanted to be the Pope when I was about 10 years old.
Okay.
And so
So
I had
that
a high
bar
ambition.
high.
Yeah, I was like, he wanted to be the Pope, but he saw somebody get hit in the head of church.
Not the priest in the parish. He's just
I
Harry
wanted
wants
to
to
be
be
the
the Pope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I wanted to be the Pope until somebody got whacked in the head, and it changed the whole. A star was born. Right.
This should be the bio. It's just somebody's
in the bio.
Instagram.
There have been a couple of questionable deaths in the Vatican, so maybe it's not that far removed. You know?
You take that phrase, it's like meeting the Pope.
So, I'm not going to say anything. All I'm going to say is that is a breadcrumb. That's all I'm going to say. It's a breadcrumb. It's a breadcrumb. So, just go do your research. You feel me? Just, when you get a chance, type up that actor's name and also put Obama up there. And just go do your research. Just go do your research. That's all you gotta do. Just go do your research. But back to Eminem, right? Eminem has betrayed us in the worst way. The worst way. And when I say us, I mean Gen Xers. Because when you really sit back and you think about it, you say, what's his name? His name is Harry Lennix. Harry Lennix. HarryLennix. Harry Lennix. Eminem has betrayed us in the worst way. Eminem endorsing Kamala Harris is like George Carlin saying he likes the establishment. You realize this, right? Literally every single time that Eminem has put out music, every single time that Eminem has been doing his thing, it's the people that support Kamala Harris, those type of people, you know, the get along gang. Those are always the people that have a problem with Eminem. In fact, I'm wondering about that crowd. I'm wondering about that audience. I'm wondering about that audience. Shout out to Bomber Monk Assassin says, stop following M after the Encore album. Word. Why would an audience of Kamala supporters cheer for Eminem? I mean, I could see Kamala supporters cheering for Usher. I could see Kamala supporters cheering for Tyler Perry, Beyonce, Barack Obama. But why would Kamala supporters cheer for Eminem? Makes you wonder about that crowd. Right? Makes you wonder about that crowd, right? Shout out to Detroit 313. He said, Eminem is full anti-conservative since George Bush days. Just recently, Eminem was coming at Candace Owens and Vivek Ramaswamy. Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like that crowd is just there to cheer. But I'm not going to go into that. I'm not going to deep dive into that. I'm not going to do that, right? But what I really want to talk about, right? Shout out to Jim Rat. He says Shady looked uncomfortable as hell saying his speech. Prospect Corner said Barack didn't finish the verse describing Kamala. Shout out to SL. He said, no, Eminem. Then he said, not Eminem. Yeah. Shout out to Carrot, said, Hedden told me that joke, more money. Okay. Just like the video I played at the beginning of this live stream, not even a few months ago, Gen X was cheering for Eminem. Because Eminem, you know, Eminem is white America. I could be one of your kids. Little Timmy looks just like this. Like, if you know Eminem's music and you know what Eminem is on, then you fully understand how egregious it is for him to have set foot on that stage. Like, let's be real. Let's be real. For him to have set foot right? For him to set foot on that stage speaks volumes. Shout out to Picasso. He said, real talk, that Encore album was hot garbage. Like, Eminem, out of all of the rappers, right? Let's just be real. Out of all of the rappers, Eminem was anti-woke culture before woke culture existed. Eminem, and he never really got the credit he deserved. And now I don't see him ever getting that credit because he just literally destroyed his legacy with this. I don't know how everybody else will feel about it, but as far as me as a Gen Xer, this right here is the equivalent of him selling his soul. Because Eminem was the quintessential Gen Xer. Period. Point blank freaking period. Okay? For him to step out on that stage and endorse Kamala Harris, for him to even be speaking on politics. What's going on here? It's disgusting. The moment I saw, as soon as I was scrolling through TikTok and I saw this clip of Eminem standing there on that stage in front of that podium that said Kamala Harris, I'm like, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? I can't believe it. It makes me want to puke. It makes me want to puke. Cornelius said he was always called a culture vulture even to this day, so M always feels he has to prove himself as one of the good white folk, even if it goes against his rebellious nature. Shout out to El Cholesterol said, this is weird because Eminem doesn't usually come out to do anything, not even for money. And seeing him doing this is like he had to do it because the elites made him do it. He sold his soul. Bruh, you know the first thing I thought about? With all of these celebrities that's coming out, right? With all of these celebrities that's coming out and endorsing Kamala Harris, the first thing that's popping up in my head is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because we know what time it is. We know what's going on. Like, they wouldn't be pushing for all of these celebrities to come out and endorse her. It's like they're sitting back like, okay, what we're doing is not working, so let's do more of it. So it's like, oh, well, we had this celebrity come out, that didn't work. Okay, let's have Usher come out. Okay, let's have Tyler Perry come out. Okay, let's have Eminem come out. Let's have Beyonce do a show. Like, and if you remember, there was a rumor that Beyonce was gonna do a rally a few weeks ago, and she got on social media and said that it was a rumor, like almost like, I'm not going to be a part of that. Now all of a sudden she's doing a rally. is it worth it for these celebrities to put themselves in this compromising position? Like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Because in my personal opinion, and I could be wrong, I feel like this, because you got to think, before this even happened, right? There was already this trend on social media of canceling celebrities. Because the ironic thing about it is, you already have this thing going on where regular everyday people are fed up with Hollywood. They're fed up with Hollywood. They're fed up with celebrities. And it's like, I don't know what's going on with the Kamala campaign, but they are tone deaf as hell. Because I don't think the celebrity endorsements is working. I think it's just serving to make them look even more desperate. And I think that it's making people say, you know what? I'm not rocking with you no more. As far as the celebrities. Because let's be honest. Do you really care about Usher's political leanings? Or do you just care about him putting out music? Like in this, and let me tell you something. This is what really sticks out to me about this. The fact that they have Kamala out here campaigning, a candidate that was chosen because Biden isn't fit to run, right? The fact that she has not answered a single question about any real policy. The fact that she refuses to denounce the policies of Joe Biden, which has decimated this country. The fact that she is not qualified to even be running for this position. And it shows in the lack of support that she's getting. If you know, you know, right? For the Democrats to think that all they have to do is parade out Lizzo and Plies. Let me ask y'all this question. I'm gonna just ask you this question, and you tell me what you think, right? Shout out to QD Exec. He said historically Eminem has been anti-establishment, so this is fishy. All these entertainers are Manchurian candidates, or they all got manila envelopes. So there's either one of two things happening right now. Either our society has degenerated so much that all it takes is a celebrity to endorse someone to get your vote. Or the Democrats believe that the average everyday American is so inept, so superficial, that they are willing to overlook super high inflation, super high grocery prices, super high cost of living, a open border, a ridiculous amount of the taxpayers' money being sent to other countries. We're willing to overlook all of that, according to the Democrats, because Usher tells you to vote for a person that is part of the administration that did all of this shit. So either one of two things has happened. either the Democrats believe the American public is that stupid, or we are that stupid. It's one of the two. It's one of the two. Because I remember growing up, politicians running for public office. And you know what I don't remember? I don't remember politicians having a bunch of rappers and singers endorse them. In fact, back in the day, politicians kept certain people away from their campaigns because they didn't want it to mess up their campaign. Because back in the day, how you lived your life as a celebrity could reflect badly on the person you endorsed. Now, this speaks volumes because you just had a guy get locked up, P. Diddy, who has been endorsing the Democrat Party for 30 years. Diddy is the one that was out here with the Vote or Die campaign, promoting the Democrats. You can find plenty of photos with all of these Democrats with P. Diddy. So my question is this: why would any political candidate want anyone that's affiliated or associated with Diddy on that stage endorsing them? The only explanation is they have gotten to the point where they believe that they can sell you any line of bullshit. See, there used to be a time where the politicians tiptoed around the voters. They used to walk on eggshells when it came to the voters. Now they just don't care. That's the scary part. Now they just don't care. And to me, it feels like they think that the American public is that frivolous, is that irresponsible, that we'll just completely ignore policy, we'll completely ignore our pockets, we'll completely ignore our living conditions because a damn celebrity said vote for this person. What? Shout out to Detroit 313 said, meanwhile, they were crying about Hulk Hogan made joke comments about Kamala because Hulk supportive of Trump, but it's all one-sided. The fact that Kamala, I'll tell you what, the precedents that she set, y'all better pray. Y'all better pray that they, oh my God, could you imagine? Look at the precedents they're setting. See, I'm gonna tell you the main reason why Trump needs to win more than anything in this world. The reason why he needs to win is so that the Democratic Party knows that circus they got going on, they should never do it again. That's the main reason. That, in my opinion, that's one of the main reasons that Trump needs to win. So that any Democrat, so that when Gavin Newsom inevitably tries to run for president, he's smart enough to know, let me not parade a bunch of celebrities out here and insult the American public. Let me not go on obscure podcasts like Call Her Daddy. Let me not do any of this ridiculousness that Kamala and her freaking campaign engaged in. Her campaign and what she's doing right now, that is a recipe for failure. And guess what? It needs to be met with just that. Failure. Failure. And for God's sake, for the love of Mike, Can we please bring back decency and decorum to politics? Sweet Jesus. For the love of God, can we please bring back the dignity that we're supposed to have in politics? Because I'm going to tell you what it feels like to me. It feels like to me, shout out to Miles. It feels like to me that the Democrats, the left, and the mainstream media genuinely think that the American public is inept. They genuinely think that the American public is so stupid that they can take a whiz on your head and tell you it's raining. That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It's almost like they don't believe that Americans have the audacity. Well, not audacity. It's almost like they feel that the American public doesn't have enough dignity to look at them and say, I don't give a shit who endorses you. I don't care how many celebrities you know. I don't care who you have come out there on that stage and say that you're awesome. We know you're not. You have not shown us that you're awesome. You don't even have a real plan for anything. Like, am I the only one that feels insulted? Miles said, facts, AM, Obama, Biden, and the Clintons have been acting for a long time. Shout out to David. Like, this is embarrassing at this point. And I'm just sitting back wondering who's falling for it. Who's falling for it? Because I ain't gonna lie, when I go to TikTok, I hear stuff like this.
I cannot stand people like Eminem. But this is how you know the Democrat Party and the elite are out of touch with the American people. I thought the Democrat Party was against the rich multimillionaires. This loser is from Detroit, and he is pushing to promote Kamala Harris because he hates Donald Trump because he said naughty words. But we'll get to that in a second.
Like, when I go to TikTok and social media, all I see is Kamala and her campaign being roasted. I'm talking roasted into oblivion. Roasted into oblivion, like, yo, ain't nobody falling for this. Like, who's falling for this? Who's falling for this? Look.
Eminem speaks out against cancel culture, but in the same breath, he's endorsing Kamala Harris. Does he not know who's behind cancel culture? Make it make sense. Like, if he were to have his career right now, he would have been canceled and called misogynistic and all of that. Because, mind you, this is the same man that went up against Mariah Carey, went up against Rosie O'Donnell. So, yeah, he would have been canceled. He's lucky he had his career when things used to be normal, back 20, 30 years ago. And now you're endorsing the same people that wouldn't have let you have a career? Make it make sense. Eminem speaks out against cancel culture, but in the same breath, he's endorsing Kamala Harris. Does he not know who's behind cancel culture?
Eminem, you sure done it now. You really pissed off the wrong group of people. Did you really think that opening up for Obama was a good idea at this current point in time? Really? Did you not know that about a week ago, this man was guilt-tripping the entire black community to get them to vote for Kamala? More so the male population. Or do you not care about that because they apparently picked you already? Or maybe that white guilt is so strong up in those bones, you just don't care. You also felt the need to continuously say that Trump is such a fucking racist. Maybe you can write a really shitty rap song and tell us all about how he is. But make sure in your shitty rap song to pull up actual sources, not just stupid clips of videos on YouTube that you and your followers decided to fucking find. Now, I do just want to point this out really quick before I end this video. I don't know if Eminem realizes this or not. The same group of people that try to get him canceled every fucking time he's come out with a shit album the past few years, it's always been from the left side of the political party. Because let's face it, the Trump supporters, we know how to take a fucking joke. We can laugh at ourselves. So it's really funny that the community that actively tries to cancel you every single fucking time, you're now opening for. Make it make sense.
Yo, we literally, you know what's funny? What's hilarious is they keep talking about the country being divided. Right? Barack gave some speech talking about I'm trying to understand how we got here. Why are we so divided? We're not divided, sir. In fact, when I look around, I see people more united than ever. You know why? Because everybody is sick of the Biden-Harris administration. Everybody. Everybody is sick. You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. This is the reality. And nobody wants to, none of the people in mainstream media want to accept this, right? And I know because I'm what the culture's feeling. You feel what I'm saying? There's a couple of things that the American public is sick of. Okay? The American public is sick and tired of politicians that don't do shit for the American people. Period. The second thing that Americans are sick of, we are sick of wokeness and everyone who engages in it. We're sick and tired of it. Many of the American public we yearn for the days of normalcy. We yearn for the days of the 90s where everybody, for the most part, acted normal. We're sick of it. We are sick of it. This is the main reason why Trump can garner the level of support he can garner in spite of all the negative propaganda that you push against him. And it's funny because Kamala keeps saying, I'm charting a new way forward. That's why people don't like you. We don't want a new way forward. We don't want none of what you selling. We don't want it. That's the funny thing. They think that we want some new version of America. No. We want the version of America that worked. What version was that? Somewhere in the 90s. Somewhere in there. Okay? And in my personal opinion, I feel like when Donald Trump was in office, it felt like we were moving into an age that was very 90s-esque, but better. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like. In fact, give us the 90s minus the leftover racism from the civil rights era. That's all we need. Give us the 90s minus Bill Clinton. Give us the 90s minus the 94 crime bill. Give us the 90s minus the drugs. That's all we need. Shout out to Cutie Exec. He said the new baby smell on Obama is gone. He's like the Chingy of politics right now. Ain't nobody checking for him. His name is Mud out here. They're done. They threw. They are through. They through. We done with them. They need to pack it up. It's a wrap. Just pack it up. It's a wrap. Ain't nobody trying to. We don't want to hear you. We don't want to hear your campaign no more. Oh my God. We don't want to hear your campaign no more. Like, get her out of here. Get her out of here. We're done. We're through with her. Oh my God. I don't want to hear her talk anymore, bruh. I don't want to hear her talk anymore. I don't. I'm so ready for the Biden era to be done. I'm so ready for it to be done. I'm praying to God every day. I'm praying to God that he will make these people see the light. We do not need no repeat of Joe Biden, and that's all Kamala's gonna be. Kamala is gonna be a repeat of Joe Biden, but less competent. Think about how scary that is. Let that sink in for a second. Kamala would be a repeat of Joe Biden, but less competent. I bet y'all didn't even know that was possible. How could somebody be less competent than Joe Biden? It's possible. Oh, it's possible. It is possible. Trust and believe. But yo, I'm starting to get tired. I've been up since early this morning. Shout out to everybody that came through. I appreciate you guys for coming through, supporting the show. If you have not checked out my book on Amazon, definitely go over to Amazon. Type The Angryman Standard in the search bar. And grab the book. Also, If you want to check out the merchandise, go to shopBinoNation.com. Again, that is shopBinoNation.com. I appreciate every last one of you guys. I will be back at you tomorrow morning, so be on the lookout for me. But other than that, man, salute to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody that hit the like button. Shout out to everybody that supported the show. And salute to the whole BINO Nation. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Deuces.
Spartans! What is your profession?